everyone, Linda here, the Scrapbooking photographer. Thanks for joining me today. I'm taking part in two hops today. One is the now very famous 30 Days of Sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life, and today I'll be looking at sketch number 1, produced by Ginger Bush. And the second hop that I'm taking part in is our monthly regular Stamping Like It's Hot. And the topic this month for that hop is stamping florals. So today I am working with these photos which were taken on a flower photography workshop that I went on at the end of 2022. I have got some different colours here that I think will work with those photos, and I'm going to follow along with the sketch for day 1 of Christie's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, and we'll see how we go. The photos have all been cut to 4 by 4, and then I just had to trim a little bit off the edges of them. So they're actually not quite 4 inches wide because I needed a little gap between them so that the piece of cardstock could fit on the page. Now I've chosen the yellow Sundance to back them, and that just brings out the yellow that's in the middle of all the photos. The other 2 colours I've chosen for the page are a lighter green, I think the Limeade from Close to My Heart, and also the Flamingo, which brings out the pink in that daisy on the right hand side. It was a great day learning how to photograph these flowers and see just what really appeals to you the most, and using that angle to accentuate that. At the top of Ginger's sketch there are 3 hexagon shapes, so I'm going to use the 3 different colours that I've chosen, so the Flamingo, the Sundance and the Limeade, and I'll use the stencil from Close to My Heart just to trace this hexagon shape. Now with the stencil the sides aren't all even, but it will still give us that 6-sided shape, and they'll fit quite nicely together at the top of the page and nest so that we can do the heading and things on it like the sketch has got. So I'm just using my normal HB pencil, which probably needs sharpening. It would have made it easier to see. But I'll go around the inside of that stencil and then cut them out using the trimmer. So I'll just show you the Sundance one being cut out. So I'm using the trimmer to get the parallel line first, so I know that it's straight, and then I'll follow the pencil lines that I've made to make nice sharp edges. I'll just show the Sundance one being cut out on camera, and then I'll go away and do the same process with the Flamingo coloured one and the Limeade, and here we are with the 3 already cut. So when I pop them at the top of the page, that's how I want them to sit, and I'll just mark where these things are going so that I can do some blending brush with a jade coloured ink in the background. So rather than having stark white behind all these photos and things, I want to have a slight green tinge for the flowers to sit on, which we'll stamp because that's part of the challenge for Stamping Like It's Hot this month. So using the blending brush, I can come in from the outside so that the harsh ink is around the edges of the paper, and then it softens as you come into the middle of the cardstock. And then any deeper spots that you've got will be hidden by either the hexagons or the flowers, and the rest of them just give a little bit of texture. So now I've got where those are going to sit, I'll get my stamp out, and this is a layered stamp, so there's a stamp I can put on the background first, which is one of those solid ones, and then put the petals in later. So again, I've just marked where those hexagons are going to sit so that I don't waste stamp underneath them, and also it's good to have some stamps that overlap the other things on the page so that it looks like it's continuous underneath. So I'm starting with Flamingo, and I'm actually using Pixie ink because I don't have Flamingo, and I've just tried first to stamp it off onto the waste paper first and then come onto the page to see if it needed to be secondary stamped. But with this colour, it doesn't. I can go straight onto the page. And when I've done a few of those, I'll clean that stamp and bring in the petals. And because they're more defined, I can find which way it goes and place it over the top. And you can see that you get the flower shape within the shape of the petals. So it's quite a cool stamp set, really. So I'll just whiz around and do these other ones. Sorry about the view of the top of my head there, but it's important to line them up properly, of course. So when I'm finished with the pink flowers, I'll move on to the yellow. Now the Sundance ink is quite strong, so I do think this will need to be stamped off first. Yes, it does. And then you get a lighter colour on the page so that when I come back with the top stamp, it will be more defined. So this is a slightly smaller flower, and I'll just wipe that off and bring in the petal part, and you'll see here, this one took a little bit of time to line up, but there's usually one piece that's a little pointy outy or something that you can find to match the top with the bottom. So once I've got it sorted and know what I'm looking for, I can whiz around and get those all finished and clean it off and pop it all away. That stamp set also has some leaves that I could have done the same process with, but I think the green blending brush in the background is enough for this page, and the workshop was about flowers, so we'll stick with just the flowers. So I'll pop these hexagons back on the top here, which is where they're going to go, and then the two down the bottom I've chosen to do in the limeade and the flamingo, and then the title I'll do in black. Now I did print these off on my Cricut machine, but these are the offset pieces, and the bit in the middle was just a bit too fine to cut. So what I'm going to do is use my white gel pen to write the letters inside the black piece that was cut out as an offset. So I think that will work all right. So I'll bring the page back and pop them in there. We've got Flower Workshop. Then I'll take the hexagons off and turn the Versamat over so the sponge side is up ready for stamping. The stamps always work better if you've got some sponge underneath. And this set is Daisy Daisy, so it's got a nice big flower that I want to just go over the edge of both the Sundance hexagon and the limeade, so that it's at the beginning and at the end of our title. So as you can see, I'm overlapping onto the scrap paper so that it looks like it's going off the edge. And then this little stamp that's got 3 tiny daisies on it, I'll just pop around the side in groups of 3 because, as we know, that always works well. So I'll bring the page back and pop these 2 on either side. And then I'll also add a few of those little daisies onto the pink coloured hexagon. Again, just dotting 3 around to fill the gaps. So now that everything is ready to go, I can stick it all down. And just remind you that this is a hop for Stamping Like It's Hot, so it'll be interesting to see what other people in that playlist have done with their floral stamping. So there will be a list of everybody underneath in the description, so make sure you check them out and leave them some love when you watch their videos as well. There'll also be a selection of different takes on today's sketch for 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. So have a look at that playlist too and see what people have come up with. There will also be some sketches for people that haven't done videos too on the Facebook page, so that's worth a look as well. As I stick these down, it's all coming together quite nicely, and the Flower Workshop pieces, if I pop them on top of the multi-purpose mat, which is kind of a silicone finish, then I can use the tape runner in various parts, and it just goes through the gaps in the letters, and then I can wipe any excess off the mat at a later date. So that's a really easy way to get those finer pieces attached to the page. And I've added just the date, November 2022, underneath it, just in handwriting. And these little hexagons down the bottom bring those green and pink colours down into the bottom part. And I also want to add a little bit of yellow, so I've punched a little flower out here that I'll just stick on, and then I'll do the centre hand-drawn with a little, just a little black dot in the middle. And then I'll add my journaling. So in my journaling, I'm really just saying that we had a fantastic few days with a very talented photographer learning about flower photography. And then it's just a matter of adding a few of those arrows. Now in Ginger's sketch, she's got some long black arrows going across the page, but I felt that was just a bit too heavy for what I wanted here. But I am going to use a little bit of black just to blend in with the title and the little bits of black writing and things. So the two there bring our attention to the heading, and then I'll move that little flower across so I can put an arrow into the journaling there as well. Now it's a good idea with these, they're made out of quite heavy cardboard, I think, so I'm using a little bit of glue to stick them down. Don't want them coming off at the wrong time. And then I'll add some stickles inside these little daisies just to help them shine a little bit more. Nothing wrong with a bit of bling. And then the page is just about done. So thank you for watching today. I hope you get a chance to see everybody else's creation with the sketch and also the other floral stamping displays. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to click the subscribe button if you'd like to see more videos come out from the Scrapbooking Photographer, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Happy crafting, everyone.